You're listening to the Ecosystem Approach show. I'm Jason.
And I'm Patricia. Tune in every Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio.
We discovered that human potential is severely limited when you program humans like a machine, which is standard practice today for self-improvement.
The Ecosystem Approach teaches you how to uncover your infinite potential by using natural methods that are truly revolutionary. Join us now for the Ecosystem Approach show. If you're a small business owner or even a business of one person, chances are you're having to make some major decisions, well, now at the tail end of the pandemic. Today, we're talking about an energy approach, by the way, which is different to decision making that's never been taught in business school and probably not by your parents either. We are married intuitives with over 20 years experience who created the ecosystem approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Why choose this topic, Jason, of decision making? And by the way, I ask him that. Why did you choose this one? Why is it so important? And what do you mean by an energy approach to decision making? It doesn't really, it doesn't sound like anybody that's,
It's not about a person. This is why I thought it was so important.
Okay.
Is that it's about an energy approach to business. Now we're going to do a whole series on business and helping people take an energy approach to business.
Okay.
And decision making is one of the major, foundational things.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So people, I've got a business degree. It's not a big deal actually, but I've been studying business for a long time, and business is probably one of the most they use programming methods in business more than anything else. So
Yes.
it's all about logic, reason, and this is a different approach. So it's giving you a different framework to make a decision. Normally it's you figure out the alternatives and figure out which one is best and then choose it. But with an energy approach, it's much different, and that's what I want to talk about today.
Okay.
So we know that if you take a regular approach to decision making, you look at the different factors and then you use judgment and then you apply it.
Right.
But what's different about the energy approaches to business is that we use refined intuition, judgment, and a holistic view, which is so much different than seeing the world. And holistic is seeing the world as an ecosystem.
Yes.
So
yes.
you're an
I get that.
ecosystem.
Yeah.
Your business is an ecosystem.
Right.
And the people around you, your customers, are an ecosystem. So when we say refined, we mean constant, consistent, and specific, working with the energies in that ecosystem.
And by the way, you start with yourself. I happen to know. You start with yourself, but when you're dealing with a business and you have so many decisions to make each and every day, when you have an understanding of who you are, then you can do what I call a 360 view of what decisions need to be made or what's in front of you at the moment.
And that's what we're going to talk about today.
Yes.
So one of the things that I like to say about data analysis, which is a big part of business,
Correct.
business school, business training, is that it makes you stupid. Why does it make you stupid?
Hey, I have a hard enough time with that one as it is. Why would I do that? Go ahead.
Data analysis is a mathematical way to understand the energy of a situation.
Okay.
So what is, if you go to an accountant or a business consultant,
Okay.
what's the first thing they want to know? They want to know what your net profit is. They want to know what your gross profit is.
Sure.
And they analyze that. That's their way of seeing they want to see the energy of success with your business, and that's how they interpret it. The problem is that when you look at net profit or gross profit or
Okay.
sales or any of those things, it starts to narrow your focus. You start to have tunnel vision, and that's what you look at. And
Well, and could you say that in data analysis, the other factors are never, not, I can't say never, but the other factors don't factor in to those mathematical equations.
exactly. We had a client one time who worked for a big company, and if I told you the name, you'd understand it, you'd hear it, but I just don't feel comfortable sharing that. But it was the company. She was actually a consultant, and they termed themselves a data-driven company.
Ah,
But she
okay.
would go into, and she told me about this. Go into meetings,
Mhm.
and they were trying to figure something out, and she got the answer right away.
And by the way, she had been doing the clearing using the ecosystem approach for quite some time.
Yes, and these other people in the room, they worked with the data. They looked at it this way. They looked at it that way. They used logic, and she
And
was
spent a
so
lot of time
and she was
doing it.
so frustrated
Yes.
because data analysis makes you stupid. Ooh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we just had that was such an important point that our bulb on our desk just blew up.
Okay.
So how many bulbs does it take anyway?
Don't go there. Okay. So going back to one of the things that was very impressive about this particular client was that she had said she would walk into the room. She already knew the data because of course the reports came in, so everybody knew the information, and she could pinpoint in a matter of minutes. And I'm not talking multiple minutes, I'm talking few minutes. She could pinpoint where the problems were, and it would take the other people hours.
Yes.
Hours. And I was always very impressed with that.
Yes. And it's it's not an absolute, it's not black and white, but when you see energies, and then what happens is you start to use your right brain, your left brain, and you start to move it in different ways. You start to think differently.
Well, correct
When
it.
you think
Yeah.
about data, you think in terms of
Yeah, yeah,
boxes, this
okay.
box, this
And
box,
when
this
I think
box.
of data, I think of going to sleep, hands down.
Yeah, well,
And we all know that I'm
that's a
not the data.
judgment, sweetie. That's not. That doesn't apply
Oh,
here.
huh.
Okay.
Does to me anyway.
So things like the, the intangibles of a business are really important,
Right.
and those are always energies. Like
Yes.
future success is an intangible. Customer goodwill is an intangible.
Mhm.
Customer loyalty, customer satisfaction.
Right.
Those are all intangibles. Now you can try and measure those mathematically, but they're just rough approximations.
Okay.
So here's one of the famous business stories, business case studies,
Yes.
which is the Coke story. And what happened was, you all know Coca-Cola, and Coke was seeing that their Coke product, their
That
primary product,
their original Coca-Cola
right,
product.
was starting to diminish in sales, and year after year after year it was going down, down, down.
Okay.
So they hired a market research firm, and they did taste tests with over 200,000 people,
Right.
and they asked the question, "What's tastes better?" And a huge majority chose, in a blind taste test, chose the new flavor of
Mm.
Coke
Okay.
versus the old flavor of Coke.
Mm.
So when they asked the question, they narrowed their focus. They weren't looking at the energy of Coca-Cola. They were looking at, well, if it the people will buy what tastes the best. That was their frame. Now they were
Oh,
stuck in that area.
oh, I see. I
So they
see.
didn't understand when they decided to go to the new Coke, and some of you may remember this, there was a huge backlash. People were hoarding the old Coke and going in and buying cases of it so they could put it in their basement. And because what they didn't get was that this Coke, the old Coke, classic Coke, what they
Yes.
call now,
Yes.
represented sort of Americana that was really, really
Well,
important.
and I want you to think about that. When you see a sign of Coca-Cola, the bottom line is it is one of the oldest signs that have been very large in our culture, actually around the world, since the turn of the
People
century.
love the Coke signs.
They
But the point
do.
is that they did market research. They felt that they were making the right choice, but because their focus was so narrow,
Yeah.
and even after the fact, even after this has been studied in business school for years, the Coke story, I'm not sure they're going to get any better because they're still using the same approach, which is logic and looking
Yes.
at the different
Yes.
containers.
True.
We're going to talk about a different way.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's just do the key points.
Okay,
And
Jason, what are the key points of this segment?
decision making for business is an excellent way to apply the energy approach to life.
Mm,
And decision making at the core is based on intangibles, which are energies and can be affected directly.
correct.
Current decision making methods narrows the view of any situation and can lead to bad decisions.
Mhm.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you to have an energy approach to life and to business so you can make better decisions.
I love that. In the next segment, we're going to teach you how to make decisions that can be effective and helpful for your business and your life. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. In this segment, we're going to teach you how to make decisions that can be effective and helpful, well, for your business and for your life. We are married intuitives with over 20 years' experience who created the ecosystem approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful in everyday life. I know you don't do steps, Jason, or formulas, but are there certain things to consider when making a decision?
And we're going to talk about that. I hate the steps and formulas because that's programming. Do
Yes.
this, this, and this, and everything will work out, and it's never that
Right.
way.
Right.
But there are some approaches to consider, and the more you do, the better these decisions you'll make.
Oh,
So
okay.
think of it as a path as opposed to an objective.
Okay.
So here's the first one: is to be holistic. Now,
What exactly do you mean by that?
I always shudder when other people say stuff like that because when someone tells you to be holistic, the truth is that you don't really know how to do that,
Well, no, and the first thing I think
and then you
is,
try and program yourself. Yeah,
yes,
you try and
exactly.
program yourself to be
Right.
holistic. You
That's
can't
true.
you can't manage this in your mind. It's what holistic. When we say be holistic, it's a natural result of applying the ecosystem approach over and over and over again,
Mhm.
clearing constantly, consistently, and
And specifically,
specifically
yes.
over time,
Mhm.
so that as you do that, your whole thinking process becomes more holistic,
Right.
and that's an energy approach to life
Okay.
and to business.
Okay.
And so if you're listening to this right now and you're a business person or you're a business owner, start with yourself, because you're the most important part
I
of
was
your
going to say
business and
piece of that business.
most
Yes.
important ecosystem in that business.
Correct.
So I'm talking about being holistic, and that's how you get there. The problem is with programming, you think about one issue at a time. you know um, let's say we have, you're trying to determine whether you should do a layoff now after the pandemic. It's a big deal. Should you lay off people,
Or should you hire people?
or how do you get them to come in and work
Right.
for
And they're
you?
having a hard time with that all over the place.
you
So
know
yes.
if you look at those pieces in exclusion, it doesn't necessarily work.
Right.
And it's an ecosystem and everything is connected. So if you look at the pieces, you're looking at the energy. If you're looking at the pieces, you're not looking at the energy.
Okay.
So how do you be holistic? You look at the energy of a
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Now, you may not understand what that means either, and keep watching us. Keep
Yeah.
if you want to have a more energy approach to your business, the way to do that is
Is to start with yourself.
start with yourself, but start by listening to our show every week.
Absolutely.
Go to our website, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section. And there's clearings every single week It's
Correct.
all free. You just have to sign up and give us your email address, and it's an amazing process. So
Truly.
make a decision right now to do that. So so that's the
By the
first
way, it'll
step.
be one of the best decisions you ever make.
So that's the first step, is being holistic. And um, then the next one is see the situation clearly. Now, again, I hate it when people say that, because, well, how do you see the situation clearly? And this is how we do it.
Okay.
Okay. In other words, be objective. See what's really there as opposed to what you'd like to be there. That sort of
Correct.
thing. That's hard to do.
Well, can I give an example?
Sure.
And we didn't exactly talk about this, but when I do something like this, I see a problem or an issue, something that needs attention, and I actually put it out in front of me in my mind's eye. Then I do what I call a 360 walkabout, and I walk around it in my mind so that I can see every piece of it, however it is. Meaning,
And really what you're doing, because people are saying, what is she talking about? But you're literally using your imagination
I'm literally
and
using my
stepping out of your
imagination.
body,
Yes,
and looking at the situation from a different perspective, and using your intuition
correct.
also.
Well, one of the biggest things that I see about poor decisions in every business is that they don't look at whatever a situation is or a problem or something. They don't look at it from every point of view.
Coca-Cola, that's why we brought up that case study.
That is
That's a
correct.
perfect
Well,
example of
and
that.
when you look at everything, when you look at something from a different point of view, then you go, "Oh, I didn't see it that way. Oh, and sometimes I have physically actually put something in the middle of a room and walked all the way around it so I can actually see it."
So let's give an example.
Okay.
And this was your client, but she was having problems with pricing.
Right.
And I remember she talked about that, and we tried to give her help with pricing, but it really wasn't
About the
pricing.
pricing.
No.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what was it about?
It was about her self-esteem and how she believed she was viewed by her peers and the
So when she went to offer a price for her, she was a consultant, for a price for her services,
right. Well, and what she
and she got
realized,
pushback, which she
and she
always would
really
get.
did
Yes.
exactly what she could, and she couldn't figure it out, and she thought it was about she was charging too much. That wasn't what it was about, because what she was trying to charge was the same thing that her peers were charging, but because she couldn't, um
She
uh
didn't have the
she
self-esteem.
didn't have that
And the reason,
self-esteem.
and the way we got her self-esteem was not by teaching her about pricing, but it was about clearing the negative energy that
Correct.
that that created a lack of confidence.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
that's the holistic view. That's a holistic approach, an energy approach
Exactly.
to this particular client.
And I have to tell you, I've worked with this person for years, and she has done better and better and better and better. I'm not saying that she hasn't dropped a ball a time or two or been rejected, any of those things. Of course,
We all make
those
those
things,
kind of those mistakes. Yeah.
of course we do. But the bottom line is today, the confidence and the clarity about not only what she does, but about how she even presents herself made all the difference in the world. And we did it through the ecosystem approach by clearing away the negative energies she was holding on to.
So far we got be holistic,
Mhm.
um, see the situation clearly, and which is all about energy. Both of those things are about
Correct.
energy. The last one is to make it personal. Now
Yes.
this goes in kind of contrary, because everybody says, "Oh, it's not personal, it's business." Well, that's not what we're talking about here. We're saying that when you make a decision for your business, it's personal. And
Yes.
it's not what the best decision is. It's what's the best decision for you personally. And when you're talking about employees, when you're talking about um, people who work with you, how you relate to them is personal to you,
Correct.
and it's a big deal.
Correct.
And
Correct.
we were trying to give an example of that, and this is not a business situation, but I think it's perfect for this. When
Well, it kind of made a difference.
it kind of made a difference, when Patricia went to the emergency room because she was struggling to breathe. We found out she had a heart valve that was failing,
Totally.
and they I remember walking with the cardiologist because she was giving us the options and she was making a recommendation for a decision. So you could have a mechanical valve that you could replace it with,
Yes.
or a what they call a tissue valve.
Hmm.
It was bovine in your case,
Yes.
and she was giving me the pros and cons. And she had a recommendation, which was a great recommendation, except it was exactly wrong for Patricia
Well, and the recommendation was is that I have a mechanical valve
because she
because
factored
they're
in her
flawless, so to speak.
they factored in her age, and they think, well, we don't want to go in again and have to replace it, sometime in the
Oh,
future, 20
exactly,
years,
exactly.
you know.
But there was one little piece of that that
Well,
really
there was a
mattered.
couple
Well,
things,
yes.
and she was in the emergency room, and for the most part, I was getting the pros and cons and trying
Sure.
helping her figure this
By the way,
out.
which he's very good at.
So it's what I knew is that for someone who has so much heart, you wouldn't put something mechanical in the center of that. And I realized that's a energy term. That's not that's an
But it's the
it's a right
truth.
brain thing. It's not a
Yes.
left brain thing.
Yes, yes, yes.
But when I told the cardiologist that, it's a deer in the headlights, she didn't get that at all. But we also understood that there was a clicking sound.
And it would go click, 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 24/7. Within, I don't know, probably 2 days after they stopped giving me a lot of drugs for it, I would have gone berserk from click, click, click. It
not
would have made me
not only
crazy.
that, we're kind of health nuts anyways, but
Yes.
to have the rest of her life on blood thinners would have been awful.
And I'm a really active person, and that would have been really, really, really hard
And
to do.
so the other thing that we do is that we took that tissue and we took the energy of that tissue and talked to it
We
literally
did. It
to
was, yes.
make it merge with your heart.
And by the way, I was told that they had never seen anyone accept something so well as I did all of this.
It's worked really well,
And
and
of
she's
course,
still
he's always making jokes
yeah,
about me and my cow friends,
yes, yeah, but
relatives, but that's beside the point.
it never gets old. I can't help myself. It never gets old. But anyways,
Uh-huh.
so after that, that was a great decision that was based um, on making it personal.
Right.
Because someone else, it might have been the perfect decision.
Exactly. And there's one thing that I want to point out here is that sometimes all of us, whether you're in business or it's
In your personal
individual,
life, yeah.
or in your personal life, sometimes we have to make forms of snap decisions, and they have to be the best for the situation. And I have to tell you, we used the clearing, we used the ecosystem approach to do this.
Clear the barriers so we can make a great decision. Clear the
Exactly.
veils and illusions so we can
could
see
all
what's
the
going on.
factors.
Yes.
Exactly. And it really, really, really worked. So, Jason, ready for key points?
Here we go. Decision making is holistic, using judgment, intuition, and self knowledge. Decision is always personal. The most important question is, what's the best decision for you? And implementation and self knowledge are connected, and bad decisions always ignore self.
Mhm.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you self knowledge so you can always make the best decision.
Exactly. In the next segment, we're going to talk about the most important aspect of decision making that is never talked about or even considered. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to talk about the most important aspect of decision making that no one ever talks about or even considers. We are married intuitives with over 20 years' experience who created the ecosystem approach for you. This is much different because we see human beings as ecosystems that need to be restored instead of programmed. We show you how to take an energy approach for internal discovery that is rational, practical, and useful for everyday life. Okay, Jason, I know there are aspects to decision making that are, well, invisible to people who don't take an energy approach. an energy approach to life. Can you talk about those?
This is probably the most exciting part of this because,
Okay.
it's our whole approach to this energy approach to life.
Yes.
We see that there's a real benefits, um, assets.
Hmm.
Um, you have it gives you a leg up on living your life,
Hmm.
but so much
I
of the
love that part, by the way.
yes, well, so much energy work is kind of la la and airy fairy out there that that is interesting, but it doesn't really help you live your life today.
Daily.
And
Yes.
that's what we're going to talk about today. And I'm really excited about this in this segment. So
Okay.
looking at the energy of a situation to determine the best choice is what we're suggesting. And
Okay.
if you can see energy, it makes sense. Most people can't see energy. So if you're trying to um, expand your business, choose this employee over this employee.
Right.
You know, um, we had a client one time. I remember you were looking at cowboy boots. That's why I remember it because
Oh,
we
me and
we
my cowboy boots.
we were in
Oh,
a leather
yeah.
shop and she it was like an emergency phone call and I took it and she said, well, I've got these two people and I can't figure out which one to hire. And I could see immediately that one of them had anger issues. And
Major
she sent me
anger.
some information about them and
Sure.
just quickly, and I looked at it and it was that quickly.
All right.
It was that easy. But if you have a business, you should be able to do that. Everybody should be able to do that. When we
Exactly.
say an ecosystem approach, we say that we are intuitives and we've been refining that intuition.
Right.
We
Right.
didn't get this type of intuition out of the box. You've had intuition all your life.
I have, but I truly didn't know how to actually hone it. I didn't realize,
Or refine it.
or hone it, refine it. Exactly. I didn't realize the value of that
So
until I started doing it.
so looking at the energy of a situation is really valuable, and no one really
Yes.
understands what that is. And if you don't understand it, just start doing the ecosystem approach by doing the clearings every week and working with
Exactly.
us and listening to the
Exactly.
shows. So
Exactly.
so that's an amazing skill right there.
True. True. True.
Here's the other one, and this
Okay.
is really exciting to me too. You have two alternatives. Chances are three alternatives, four alternatives. There's pros and cons to each.
Well, of course. Sure.
And people come to us. We've been doing this for 20 years. People have come to us, and there's some form of which decision should I make when they come to us? They're asking us
Often,
that question,
often. I mean,
whether they say
it's
that explicitly or not. They're saying, okay,
exactly.
which decision to make? And we don't do that for people.
No.
It's not our job, and it's
Mm-mm.
the wrong question. We help people determine what the best decision is for them, but um, what we really do,
Okay.
and this is what's really exciting to me, is that there's no perfect decision,
Okay.
and people come to us with this presumption that if you make the right decision, everything will work out.
Um,
I want to tell you, and this is a secret, that doesn't work ever.
because life is always ever changing.
If you can see energy, you can see that what the best decision is, maybe for you today,
Hmm.
maybe next week won't be, and maybe 3 weeks from now, it could have been some other decision or whatever. It doesn't ever work that way.
Right.
But here's the way around it that it's so exciting.
Okay.
And I wish we had a drum roll here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait. Wait.
yeah, okay. So is to take the energy and make it the best decision. So if you're choosing among a number of different options, what I tell people is make the decision, make the choice the best decision.
I love that one.
How do you do that? Well,
Yes.
this is a good example. That client that you had that we were talking about earlier.
Right.
We've been it's not that it was about a decision per se, but we've been helping her with her business,
Yes.
making it the right business for her
Correct.
and making it profitable and making it
And by
satisfying.
the way, it has grown more and more and more successful.
And the way you do that is you clear the path. So when you choose an option and you make it the right decision, what you're
Correct.
doing is clearing so that even though maybe next week it's not the right decision,
Right.
you clear what gets in your way and you keep going. and you
Correct.
keep clearing and you keep clearing. So even if you choose a wrong decision,
Correct.
whatever that is, that's very subjective in it. You keep clearing so it can can become the right decision.
Correct. Well, and um, that I had a client ask me, it's right on this line. I had a client ask me the other day to look at this person, and actually, I was looking at like 4 or 5 different people, but to look at this one particular person and see if this person was the right fit for the job, and it was that wasn't the right question. The right question was, what are the negative energies between myself and this person I'm thinking about hiring or consider hiring, so that I can
Yeah,
communicate
it wasn't about you. It was the client.
excuse
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
so that, yes, wasn't about me at all. Was make the right decision between the person that was asking the question and the person that she was thinking about hiring. In other words, what were the negative energies that were keeping the clarity about the situation, about that hiring,
And this
about that job
this is the most important
point?
point about that is that even if they clear the negative energy and she discerns that this person is the right person, 3 weeks from now, she may have some things come up in her life that create conflict on the
Exactly.
job. So
Exactly.
what do? Well, we make it the right decision by clearing it.
Exactly.
It's not like
Exactly.
it's not like you pick the right person and everything works out, but
Correct.
you keep clearing the negative energy that gets in the way.
But and that's what we should do for our everyday lives anyway,
Yes.
because remember, life is always happening all the way around us. Okay, that's a given. We know that. But the bottom line is we also know that negative energy is around us everywhere. We talk about that when we do the clearing, and we'll talk about more about that in a few minutes. But the bottom line is that when you have negative energy that you're presented with, that you can see or feel or sense, then clearing it really helps you make the best decisions for you.
So if you have a business, clearing your way constantly, consistently, and specifically
Exactly.
for your business, for yourself
Mhm.
going forward is the
Exactly.
best way to make good decisions
Yes.
and the best way to have successful outcome for your business. And no one
Exactly.
ever talks about it. No one works with energy.
Right.
They all work with, how to market, how to hire the right people.
Well,
And
sure.
those are strategies and techniques, and those don't ever consider the energies. So, shall we?
You ready for the key points?
Yes.
All right. Jason, what are the key points?
Looking at energy of a situation is the most valuable, but it's uncommon and almost unknown.
Correct.
The biggest misconceptions is that things only work out when you make the right decision in the first place. That is totally false.
Correct.
And use your intention to make whatever decision you make the right one.
Mm-hmm.
And the ecosystem approach teaches you to work with energy so you can make the energy work for you instead of against you in your
Yes.
business and in your personal life.
And one of the best things about the clearing is that it gives you clarity um, about which way. It helps you to see which way to go. It's
Mhm.
amazing. So we ready to tell everyone how to do clearing?
We're gonna do that. Basically, there's no special posture. You can stand, sit, lay down. You can be in the shower. You can be driving. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Mm-hmm.
In your mind's eye, when we say to eliminate, gather up all those things to eliminate, whether they're veils and illusions, barriers, specific emotions,
Mm-hmm.
and then blow them into the processor. And if Jacob puts the thing of the image of the processor up now, that would be great.
Uh-huh.
And you can take a look at what it is. If you're listening to this, you're not looking at it
Right.
with
Exactly.
video. You can imagine a trash can
Mm-hmm.
or put it in an actual trash can.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have a chance, go to our website and sign up for a free section. And in that free section, you can get a picture. You can download a picture of the processor
Exactly.
and kind of put it on your cut it out and put it on your
Desk. and
desktop.
and by the way, actually, I know someone who actually carries a picture of it in his wallet.
Oh, that's neat.
I know it is. So, but then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to activate life force energy. Life force energy is the most powerful energy that any of us has access to. And what we're going to do is we're going to call upon that life force energy. We're going to call upon it from and have it come in through the top of our head, go all the way down our body, and all the way to the tips of our toes. We're going to stop it at the tips of our toes, and we're going to turn it around. Remember, it's the most powerful energy we have access to. We're going to ask it to help us get rid of more negative energy and then move on to the next subject or topic or whatever we're talking about. It is the most amazing thing you will ever do for yourself. Stay tuned when we come back. We're going to help you start to make better decisions and take an energy approach to life and your business. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia, and you're listening to Transformation Talk Radio. This is the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason, and I'm Patricia. And in this segment, we're going to help you start to make better decisions and take an energy approach to life and your business. So, Jason, you ready?
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to eliminate the barriers so I can see that an energy approach to life can help me make better decisions for my life and for my business.
Love it.
Take a breath.
Take a breath.
Gather up those barriers
And
blow them into the processor.
exactly. You don't need them anymore. So, moving along, and to eliminate the false belief that being logical is the only is only a better way than looking I apologize, is the only way and a better way to look at the energy, when the truth is that's not true at all. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the feelings of anger, hate, rage, and bitterness that blocks my refined intuition.
Mm-hmm.
That those are the things that you have to start clearing to get rid of, to refine your ability to see energy and to
Exactly.
all those things.
Exactly. And to eliminate any feelings of fear and hurt and shame that distorts my judgment and ability to make good decisions. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the barriers so I can clear the negative energies attached to me for more self-knowledge. And that's the way you get that, is you remove those negative energies,
Yes.
and who you are becomes more and more clear.
Yes. Take a breath. And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see some illusions and delusions I have about my life right now. Take a breath. And know that I can clear them. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the feelings of fear and terror that keep me from making good decisions.
Mm-hmm. Take a breath. And to eliminate all the hurt and depression and shame I have that makes my
that keeps me from making an accurate assessment of my self-knowledge.
Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. Go ahead.
And to eliminate any anger I have about making a major decision that keeps me from objectivity.
Huge. That one's huge. And to eliminate my feelings of resistance and bitterness and anger that affects my judgment and self-knowledge about decision making. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the false belief that the best decision in general may not be the best decision for me.
Oh, that's huge. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take a breath, everyone. I like this one. And to eliminate any thinking that decisions are always completely logical. Wait. Take a breath.
And to eliminate any numbness or blocks to my feelings and insights so I can make better decisions.
I like that. Take a breath. And to eliminate the barriers to my clarity so I can feel and see how my decisions will affect me personally and then affect others. Take a breath.
And to eliminate the veils and illusions so I can see how I make decisions now and how an energy approach for me is better.
Take a breath. Jason, I'm going to activate some life force. What do you say?
Okay, great.
Here we go. I direct all my resources in all dimensions to activate life force energy, the most powerful energy that anyone has access to. So I can use life force energy for everything in my life, including great health and happiness, and the ability to see what decisions are in the best interest of me and a situation. Starting right now, pull that in and have it come in all the way through the top of your head, and stop it at the tips of your toes, turn it around and blow out any negative energy. Throw that negative energy into that processor or garbage can right now.
And to activate life force so I can have hope to make my business and life better with an energy approach.
Take a breath in through the top of your head, all the way down your body, tips of your toes, turn it around. Anything that's blocking you from great decisions. And to activate life force so I can trust that using an energy approach is better for me and my business, personally and about my business. Take a breath.
And to activate life force so I can decide to uncover self knowledge and use it for better decisions for my business and for my life.
Take a breath.
Take a breath.
And last one, I always like this last one, not because we're about finished, but I like this last one because it helps with everything. And to activate life force so I can use life force to be happy and healthy and have clarity, awareness, and objectivity and creativity and joy and laughter and fun. Don't forget great health and the ability to be objective about not only who I am, but about the business and the world around me right now. Take a breath, everyone, in through the top of your head. Let it go all the way to the tips of your toes and turn it around and blow out any negative energy left over. Jason, what are we going to talk about next week? I'm really excited about it. I got to tell you that.
You know, this is a big deal for us. We're going to talk about being a star seed and whether you're a star seed.
Or not.
You know, it's not like there's any sort of litmus test. Chances are, if you are aware of this term and it interests you, you are one.
Yes.
It's that simple. And this show is not about being able to diagnose whether you're a star seed or figure out whether you're a star seed,
Right.
but it's going to assume that you are because of your interest.
Yes.
And just say, okay, now what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, I looked it up on, I Googled it. I saw a lot of different websites, and over the years, most of our clients have been star seeds.
Yes.
It's
not all of them, but most of them.
Most of them. And so it's kind of, we kind of take it for granted.
We do.
But the truth is that now with the age of Aquarius, this is the age of Aquarius, it's time for these star seeds to wake up. But what we see is what's missing is the ecosystem approach.
Yes.
If you're a star seed and you're not using the ecosystem approach, chances are you're caught in all sorts of negative energy. You're being blocked, you're being targeted, and you're being suppressed in ways that is contrary to the reason that you're here in the first place.
Well, and one of the things I want to say about star seeds that will hopefully promote you to definitely watch the show or listen to the show. When you're a star seed, it doesn't mean that most people will go, oh, no big deal. But the bottom line is there's a knowing inside that really helps you understand you came here for a reason.
I see that a lot of people use the idea that they're star seed as some sort of ego boost, even if it's very quiet.
Exactly.
But that's not why it's not why it's
no.
If you're a star seed, that's not why you are.
No.
You're here to do something
amazing.
And chances are, we haven't met anybody who hasn't been blocked, hasn't been limited,
starseed or not, that's
has
correct.
Great potential,
yes.
But that potential's been limited, and when we say this is the path to unlimited potential, that's what we mean is that if you're here for a reason, you need to grab that potential and start to use it
and understand. And one of the best things is most people say, and they've said to me at some point or another, I don't understand why I'm even here. It doesn't matter if I'm here or not. And the bottom line is it does matter. And those of you that are star seeds, and even if you're not a star seed, we all come here to do something amazing, and we come here to make a difference.
Yes.
And that's one of the reasons we even started doing the radio show.
So if this interests you, tune in next week.
Absolutely. So, Jason, Why is the ecosystem approach so important to me
Well, for
personally
one,
and everyone out there?
if you're a star seed, it is,
Yes, definitely.
here's how to do the ecosystem approach. If you
Correct.
want to make better decisions, if you want to have an energy approach to your life or for your business,
Hmm.
or just because you're interested about the star seed stuff,
Yeah.
here's how you do it. You listen to our show every week.
Hmm.
Go to our website right now, theecosystemapproach.org, and sign up for our free section.
Right.
When you do that, you get a weekly newsletter that has a little bit about, a little behind the scenes about the show, and then a clearing list. A
Right.
lot of our clients just take that clearing list, put it on their phone, and do it every single day.
Right.
You can do it 3 or 4 times a day. Just do it. The more you do it, the better off it is.
Exactly.
So that's the first step. The other thing is that go to our website, not our website, but our Facebook page,
Uh-huh.
which is theecosystemapproach.org, and like us while you're there, and you can see the videos for some of our previous shows there.
Exactly.
And leave a comment if you like. We'd love to hear from you.
Right.
And so I guess that's
Well, what about our Facebook page? Did you talk about
yeah, I
that?
talked about the Facebook page
Okay.
already. So
Okay.
we'd love to have you join us. This is not a cult. This is not something that you have to. There's no secret handshake. There's no
No.
group. We're just trying to teach you how to uncover yourself for your greatest potential.
And by the way, that's one of our jobs that we came here to do, is to help teach people about energy. So we'll connect next week, Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific and 4 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Transformation Talk Radio, and you're listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia.
Remember, your ecosystem is the most important one in the world.
Thank you for listening to the Ecosystem Approach Show with Jason and Patricia. I'm Patricia. Tune in every week as we discuss practical ways to apply the ecosystem approach and develop your potential to live your life on your terms. For more information, visit our website at theecosystemapproach.org.